Check, 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 check.
Check.
Yep, you're echoing.
Yeah, we're echoing.
Are we?
Is
We're
it you guys or is it Mike guys?
Somebody's echoing.
Talk again, Mike.
Check.
Here. If I see if you hear Mike echo. Yeah, there's somebody that's got something going on that's causing echo.
It might be your headphones, Ralph.
Is me echoing? Is that me?
I don't know who it is, but
I don't
hear
hear
it. Someone's got multiple mics going on in their facility.
You. In my mic.
I don't think I hear it now. Yeah, I do.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
Go grab the. I have PlayStation headphones under my TV.
Under your TV?
Yeah, go grab those.
Okay, I'll be right back, guys. Hold on. Stand by.
No worries.
We're good. People will be patient.
Check, check.
These are. I think.
I can still hear myself.
Yeah, hold on. Let me try this. Try
Man,
now.
that was like the most awesome zoom effect ever.
Right.
Boom.
Check, 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 check. Yeah, we're good now.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. He's these are open back headphones, so that's why the noise is coming out of there.
Fancy.
Boom.
Fancy. What's up, dude? Long time no try.
Yeah, right?
So, what's going on, man? How are we doing? Well, actually, let's bring us all in because
This is a topic of conversation for the masses.
we totally messed up the whole intro, even though we're live right now. So,
Oh boy.
Are we live?
Okay.
yeah, we've been live, dude,
Oh man, look at that.
because I'm punctual. All right,
With a
what's
P.
going on, everybody? Welcome to HiFi Fanatics, and tonight we are featuring the HiFi Brothers.
What's
We're
up,
having-
guys?
Is this better?
Yeah.
We're not being so hi-fi right now, are we?
No, dude, you're fine, bro.
Hold on, guys. I'm sorry.
Somebody
Can you guys hear me?
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we can.
Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
cool. Oh, there you go. Nice. Okay.
All right, we're good. We're
So-
good. You'd think we'd be in the hi-fi industry and not have technical difficulties,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
But hey, it was for a good reason because they're open back, and the people that do know headphones know that you get a little bit of noise from open back headphones. However,
Come on.
sound amazing.
Yes.
For sure, but
don't
just
keep
not
them on
good
the
for
airplane.
not good for interviews.
Yeah. So that's funny. We already got a couple people commenting for HiFi Brothers. I'm actually not related to Giles because if I would be, I'd be a lot uglier. But it's all good.
He'd be way smarter though.
I'd be
God.
super bald. I'd be
And
like
super smart and just have so many women you can't even beat them off of you. I mean, I know I wouldn't want to curse anybody else with that, especially you.
I'll tell you what. I saw actually it was funny, Giles. The other day on Facebook, your brother popped up as a recommended friend, and I'm like, dude, this looks like a better looking version of Giles.
Was it the one with all the tats?
Were those fake? Or there's like a
No, he got those last time he was in prison.
those are real? I thought it was like a gag.
No, it's a gag.
Okay, I was like, dude, there's no way because I saw other pictures of him. And he didn't have a tattoo.
he doesn't. He doesn't have crazy face tattoos.
Dude, honestly, dude, but he does look like he does resemble you quite a bit. So
Yeah, he's like the younger, skinnier, with way more hair version of me.
yeah, or something. You must take after one of your parents, but no, I thought it was funny though because it popped up and I was like, dude, those are like legit brothers. Right on though. But yeah, we are here with the HiFi Brothers, and I'm super happy to have them. I did do a one-on-one with Armando the other day. We talked a ton about vintage audio, about his vintage setup, but now I'm super glad Ralph is here because I think Ralph and Giles are going to geek out on some multi-channel stuff.
Hell yeah.
So you're telling me Armando is like the old fogey that stuck, and he's all like, "I want some La Scalas from 1968."
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, I'm getting it now. And then you're like, okay, let's do some 20 channel processor, cool stuff, stuff built after 1980. Is that?
Yeah,
what's going on?
it's weird because I loved like all the modern stuff, and then when I was telling Mike, just getting back into like family history and uncovering my dad's old disco records, right? Some BG's action. Moved like a million times from the East Coast out to the West Coast. The only things to survive the move. So, yeah, I just thought it was cool just to bring back some of this this vinyl. And then, you know, I don't know. I opted to go to the older stuff because I just like that wood grain, silver, chrome finish. It just looks so much nicer than, you know, some of the stuff that's out today. Not to say that the stuff today is not great, but I just like the look of the old stuff.
I'm down with the silver color. You know, when I'm doing 2-channel, all silver all the time.
Oh,
nice.
So, dude, Armando, I was thinking it was on Facebook. I saw that there was this Pioneer, probably from the 70s, that was black-faced, right? And the black-faced, you know, amplifiers and stuff, they only did that for overseas, like Japan, a lot of Asian markets, and they did it for military bases. So they're super rare. So if you ever come across like a vintage blackface like amplifier for a good price, I would pick it up. I'm looking for one myself now. But
yeah, for sure.
That black metal steel just looks super clean. Giles like the silver though. You dig that silver, don't you, Giles?
You know, here's what's interesting. Remember when we had Marantz on? It's like 3 or 4 months ago, and they were talking about their new integrated and their new CD player. Anyway, you know, in the United States market, they're selling that as black, but they have it available in silver. But was available in the Asian market, right? Pac Asia, or Asia Pac. And they might have brought it to the United States now, but at the time it was just Asia Pac. And I thought it was interesting how, you know, everybody has their own special, you know, per market kind of likes and dislikes, and the color disparity really is interesting. That, you know, Asia Pac is just into the silver.
It looks like Matt Perona said newer components are all silver overseas.
Yep.
That is very correct. Yep.
They know it's good.
We got a Miko. We got a Miko in the mix. Miko, she's my wife. Just to let you guys know.
Nice.
Just kidding.
No, hey, that's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
But
call it out, man.
Someday she will be.
Hell yeah.
And here's my husband.
Yeah, that's his husband.
What's up?
Yeah.
Kevin S.
I actually got a chance to talk to him the other day, which was cool. He said he was going to call you, Giles. I don't know if he did, but I think
he did not. What he lied to you.
Yeah. No,
he
totally lied to you.
He cuckolded me for you.
And Miko wanted to know what vintage setup. I missed it. Well, it hasn't aired yet, so it's not going to air for a couple more weeks. But actually, Armando, if you want to lead and kind of tell the public about your setup and why you're super into vintage, and then we'll do Ralph, and then we'll figure everybody's setup out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, for sure. So yeah, I got a Yamaha receiver. It's a CR820. Very, very nice. It's a mid-level Yamaha back from the late 70s. Got the silver, you know, front face. It's got the wood grain. Got 2 air grills up top. It's got 2 phono inputs, which, you know, some of that, you know, the mid and the high end stuff has that. And then my turntable is also a Yamaha. It's a YP211. It's a belt drive turntable from the 70s. Wood grain finish. It's still got the dust cover, which, you know, when you find some of that old stuff, it's hard to find everything kind of complete.
Sure.
It's kind of an entry level turntable from that back then, but it holds up really well. It's semi-automatic, meaning that, you know, you press play, plays all the way through the record. When it gets to the end, it actually brings back up the tone arm and releases it back into a cradle. I think that's what you call it. So it's kind of nice because then it's like, you know, your record's just not spinning for eternity, waiting for you to come back to it. So that's pretty awesome. And then the next setup, or the next unit that I have, is a Pioneer CT F700 cassette player. Now this is a pretty.
I'm down with that.
Hell yeah.
You got to see the pictures on my Instagram because it's one of the rare cassette players where there's 3 VU meters on it. So most cassette players will have 2, and this one has 3. 2 for the left or right channel, and then it has 1 for the playback. So it's playing both at the same time. And you use that for recording. The only thing I don't like about, or the only con to that cassette player is that it doesn't have a separate recording head. So you kind of just have to cross your fingers when you're recording and just hope that you have the bias and everything set up correctly, so that way it plays, based on the type of tape you're using.
Now,
but
does it have auto reverse? Obviously,
does not have auto reverse. That's the other. Yeah, that's the other thing too.
And then what did they call it when it would take the head and tilt it depending on the way? It was like multi-azimuth or something like that.
Yeah. It would adjust. God, I forget what they do, but yeah, some of the higher end cassette players, like I know Nakamichi, a lot of those groups. Yeah, I mean those are like the holy grail of cassette players nowadays. If you find one of those, like the old school, like the Dragon, oh man, those will fetch a lot of money. But yeah, so it's a cool cassette player. And then the last component I have is an Akai reel-to-reel player. It's a GX 4000D, so it uses the combo glass heads, which is supposed to last longer than you. But yeah, it's a pretty cool. It's a no frills reel-to-reel player. I liked it because of the form factor. It's really small. It sits really nice. I got that one for about $180, so it was good condition.
If you ever see a good one that's out there for that price range, a couple $100, I'm down for a reel-to-reel.
Yeah, well, let me tell you a story real quick, and you guys will probably be sick. So I actually had a Pioneer RT707, which is the model just below the 909, which is Pioneer's best reel-to-reel player they ever made, which fits the 10-inch reels. This one just goes up to the 7-inch. But I ended up buying it from some guy who got it during the Vietnam War when he was stationed in Germany. For $300 I bought it from him, and he had all these reels for it. And I ended up selling it.
Oh, man.
For the same, for 50, I made $50 off of it. And I was like, man, why would I do that? But the Kai is pretty nice. It fits really well for the rest of my system. And then before we go to Ralph, the other stuff, because I'm not only all into vintage. I have some modern stuff, but I have some Sonos components too. I'm a big Sonos champion. I love their products. So I have their Sonos Arc, which is their sound bar. I have their subwoofer, and then I have their little speakers all throughout my house, even outside and stuff. So I play a record and I can broadcast that to any room in the house, which is kind of nice. So I have
What's their product that's like a streaming device, and they've had 8 different versions of it?
Yeah.
What's the new one called?
It's called the Sonos Port. That's the one where you can hook it up to an existing stereo system. So I have the Connect, which is the older version, which works still fine. I don't think I need to upgrade it, but yeah, I have that hooked up to my receiver, and then any one of my components, cassette, reel-to-reel, whatever I'm listening to, I can just hit the app on the Sonos and listen to it wherever I want to. So kind of bringing in the new and the old. But yeah, just real quick, the reason why I got into vintage is saying I was collecting. My dad had some old records from back in the 70s, so he had some 70s rock, a lot of disco. I never knew that about my dad. He wouldn't be like, yo, I was at the club, in New York, just partying it up, listening to the Bee Gees. So I had to find out from his records, and I just decided to go with the old stuff because it was a little bit less inexpensive, and I figured, well, if it breaks, that I wouldn't be so upset about it. But yeah, it ended up being a pretty cool venture. So yeah, love rocking the old stuff.
That's cool. That's real cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's take a couple of these questions real quick. And all the shout outs real quick for everybody. Let's see. Herman's on. Welcome back, Herman. Herman's been taking a hiatus from social media lately, so hopefully that's working out well. But I'm glad he came back to see us here tonight. Kevin from GSG's on. What's up, Kevin? We've already shouted out Mad Piranha and Amico, which is, I guess, Mikey Wifey to be.
Nice.
Double A's in the house. Who else we got here? We had a question.
Neil's in the house.
Yep. And then Cole's thanks for talking about the Stark amps. And then he had a question somewhere down here. Where's it at? Oh, he says, did you finish your system with both the 8-channel and the 7-channel? Do you use the 7-channel for your front 3? So I use the Starks down A8 and A7. Though they are not bridgeable, so you can't bridge those. I've got 9 bed channels, so 7 bed channels are coming off the A7. The last 2 are coming off the A8. That leaves 6 channels on the A8 available. I'm using 4 of those for Atmos. So right now that A8 has 2 channels that are just sitting idle.
Nice.
I could use those for, I don't know, whatever I wanted to, I suppose.
Heck yeah.
Who else is up in the house? Neil's up in the house.
I'll tell you what, Ralph.
Yes, sir.
You have had some experience with some Stark products.
Oh yeah.
I noticed that you had 2 of their SW12.
Yes.
What do you think? What is your take on the bass and how it integrates with your system? How are you feeling?
I tell you what, I think those Stark sound subwoofers are actually pretty unique, man. I believe it or not, I didn't expect much from them. And when I first hooked them up, and what really surprised me about those subwoofers is that for something that's under $1,000, you have a balanced input and an unbalanced, which is really surprising. And I'm an SVS affiliate, which I love SVS products, but if you get any of their subwoofers now, you have to go over $1,000 just to get a balanced input. Sure. And the Stark Sounds offered less than $1,000 subwoofer with a balanced input, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I own a Marantz AV8805, which is their flagship AVR right now, and it's all unbalanced and balanced input. So I'm like, well, let me see what I can do, with these Stark Sound subwoofers. And when I hooked them up, and I was really surprised of what they can produce. It's like amazing. I'm like, wow, and like these things actually can do some damage. They do a little bit better than my SVS SW3000 that I have, which is crazy. And I have those firing up front, which is really nice. And I have my SB3000 in the rear of me, just hitting for the really subsonic low bass. And believe it or not, those SW12s can handle some of the subsonic frequencies really well, which is very surprising to me. I'm like, wow, this is great. So, kudos to Stark Sound, man. They made a really good product, man.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
I want to hear them. I haven't
heard of it either.
I haven't had a chance to hear the SW12. I actually own their Sub 35.
There's a nice subwoofer.
Yeah, it's super cool, but I like sealed. Even though the Sub 35 has the PRs on it,
right?
I really want to hear their sealed SW12. So maybe someday I'll get to review it or something. But
right.
So yeah, I mean that's actually a good segue to talk about your channel, man. So you guys are doing reviews, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And what's crazy is that a lot of people like going ported, and I'm totally a fan of ported subs too. The one thing about ported subs, if you don't know how to tune it, what happens is that you start getting chuffing, and you start getting this like weird noise coming out of your subwoofer, and you're just like, what is that? If you tune it just right on a ported sub, you can really get some subsonic frequencies coming out of that, and it sounds great. I mean, if you want that chest pounding, rumbling, like you sit in your chair, it's shaking, go with like a ported sub, which is awesome. But if you're more of like a neutral movie enthusiast, you like watching movies, but you don't want that crazy, like, I want my glass, to fall off, of my countertop. Then go with a ported because or sealed. The reason why sealed is good is because first of all it's a smaller box, right? And if it's made right, you can get subsonic frequencies, but it's not overkill. And what's really good is that when you are playing music on a sealed sub, it sounds more natural bass versus just really banging overwhelming to your ears, versus a ported sub.
Yeah,
so,
I was actually finishing up my follow-up video on the Punisher, the 15-inch subwoofer I have back here.
Nice.
And I was doing some B-roll, and I wanted to feature different Hertz, Yeah. So I did a 10 Hertz bass test, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to crank this up. I've never seen this before.
Nice.
The enclosure started dancing, like it was literally coming up off one end.
Wow.
And I'm like, Oh my god! I was afraid I was gonna literally. I was afraid the motor was gonna fly at me, but no, it handled it super well. It was down to 10 hertz, and it was rumbling the whole place. So, and that's a sealed box, but I'm pushing it with a lot of power. So, but that's I think that's the only downfall really when you're doing DIY is that you need a heavy duty amp to power a sealed sub if you want to get the same or similar results of performance as a ported. Another build we did, Giles, not too long ago was the Hammer, which was a ported design, and we were using a 500 watt amp, next to nothing. But then again, the Ultimax didn't really call for too much power, right?
Well, no, it's fine. It's just when you're building ported, right, around your port tune, you're going to get a 10 decibel boost, right? That's the reason you go ported. You want volume, right? And, you go low ported, 20 hertz. And Kevin's probably saying, "Oh, these guys don't know what they're talking about." I'll do my best. But that's the call to action for ported, right? You want to in that real estate, and now ported's bigger than sealed, but it's not, hugely different. But yeah, it's all about the volume. Now, sealed can play deeper than ported, because it's got that just. I think a natural roll off on ported is a first order 6 decibel per octave roll off.
Yeah,
which is nice, right? You can get super deep with it. Yeah. And I actually run ported and sealed together right now.
That's awesome, man.
And I put a super sharp crossover on my ported so that I'm not getting that phase shift at the lower frequencies, and really let the sealed box handle everything from about 15 hertz down.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
Absolutely. Yeah. What's the tricky part is what you were saying, you're trying to roll off at a certain frequency. The ported, what it says, it rolls off, really low at starting at like I say 0 hertz, and it starts going like this, and then it goes over. With ported, it starts up really quick, and then it comes over, and then starts going down.
It just tanks out.
Ported. I've noticed waterfalls really bad sometimes.
Yes, it does, and then you get these nulls. Especially if you have open space somewhere, you're gonna get some really bad null effect. That's why I always recommend always getting at least 2 subwoofers, so this way you can balance that null effect in your room. Depends on where it is. If it's behind you, in the side of you, to the front of you, you get those 2 subs. And what you do is that you start with the first sub, and then wherever that null is going to be, let's say it nulls at 80 hertz. Your second subwoofer will kick in at around that range, and then you actually boost that signal at 80 hertz to get that null out of the way. So this way you get an even bass across the whole room.
Plus, you piss your neighbors off.
Yeah,
exponentially.
So,
Ralph, do you have your 2 Starks in the front?
Yes, I do. I got my 2 Starks at front. I have them crossed over at 70 hertz. I got them literally about 2 decibels. I got them 2 decibels less than half. So I got, starting at the middle is basically 0. I got them 2 decibels, just, a little bit less. I also got them in phase with my front speakers, which is my SVS Ultra Towers, which they have dual opposing 8-inch subwoofers. So I got those crossed over at 40 hertz. So this way I can get some bass out of there, and then there rolls off that 40 hertz over to the subwoofer. But the rest of my speakers, I have them with my surround sounds that I have, my SVS Ultra Surrounds, I got them crossed over at 60. And then my SVS Elevation speakers, I got them crossed over at 80 hertz. And then my SB3000, I had to tune that a little bit just to make sure that the rear is subjectified from what I'm playing up front. So I had that phase at 180. Right, and then when I went into the Rue effect, which Rue, we can talk about that later. What Rue does is basically it allows you to see where those nulls are in your room, and then you go into that subwoofer that you're using, and you just basically you're changing the hertz setting on that subwoofer. What's really nice about the SB3000 is that was the first subwoofer to have the SVS app that you can actually go in there and change the frequency. So if you have
you can EQ it, right?
The EQ, you can change your EQ effect, which is actually really cool. So I when I tuned it all in, it sounds really, really clean. Bass is not overwhelming. It sounds like you're if you were at the movie theater, sitting in the middle of the room and stuff like that, and you get all the effects hitting you all at one time, and it's just like, oh my god, this is incredible, And that's the way you do it, It's all about the fine tuning, It's not just set something up and like, oh well, I'm getting too much bass. What do I need to do? I say, well, move it around and move it away from the corner of the room, right? And then you got to fine tune it from there. And,
Right.
you get basically, bass is supposed to be blended in with the speakers. If it's too much bass, okay, what happens is that it's going to overwhelm your ear faster than your mid-level and your tweeter, and you're never going to get all those details out of your speakers. So that's why it's very important to fine-tune the subwoofer, and that's you fine-tune your subwoofer first before you even start tuning the rest of your speakers. So this way, everything blends naturally through your ear.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree. So, Giles, I'm trying to find the REW for the Punisher, and I'm being unsuccessful.
I don't have it.
I know you don't.
I would direct everyone to the video that you made.
No, I don't think I didn't.
Oh, you didn't put it in there?
I didn't put it in the first. It's coming out in the second one, but I wanted to share it with everybody here because I know it's something everybody was asking me about. But for some reason or
Just
another,
describe it, man. Tell us. Does it look like a?
Does it
look like a giraffe or a camel, or is it more like a zebra?
The thing doesn't fall off, dude. That thing goes forever. Man. While I look for that, entertain our guests. While I look for that.
All right, I'll entertain. So, okay, let's move to the feature that I've added that I like to talk about every week now, which is welcome to Content Corner. In Content Corner, we chat about all the collectible content that we like to consume on a continuous basis. Do you like that alliteration? Is that alliteration?
I like that a lot. That's good.
Nice.
Repeating all the C's. I don't know. So, so this week for me has been another shameless week. And what I mean by that is I think I'm on season 8 of the Showtime show Shameless. And that's got, I think 10 seasons are out, and they've got the 11th scheduled, and that'll be the end. It's the longest running Showtime show ever. And it is like a guilty pleasure of mine. I've really been enjoying that one.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. But what about you guys? What have you been watching over the last few days? Or listening to? This can be anything. It could be music, TV, movies. What's been hot on your list?
Well, for shows, believe it or not, I actually just finished the Cobra Kai season 3.
Oh, you're talking Mike's language right now.
Nice.
Yeah, I love that show.
Man, Karate Kid. We grew up to watching that movie. So even all the other ones that came out afterwards, like Karate Kid Part 2. I don't know, man. When with the Peter Cetera song, the Knight in Shining Armor, what I forget, what, the Power of Love or whatever.
Yeah.
What? Not Power of
Oh
Love.
yeah,
That's,
yeah.
God, I just love that song. So.
I want to sing that song and can't remember the tune.
Oh man, you got it in my head now, bro.
It's not Power of Love.
Not Power of Love. That was from Back to the Future.
That's from Back to the Future. But it's something like that. Something with love. Somebody help us out. Now I'm going to go crazy if I don't hit it.
Oh,
it's like
from Cruel Summer?
No, not that one. No.
Cruel Summer. No. I'm not.
Glory of Love. There we go.
Yeah, Glory
Somebody
of Love.
said
That's it. Glory of
Double
Love.
A called it out.
Yeah, Glory of
Looks
Love.
like Double A is the one who got it.
Double A is the man. He is like full of all kinds of trivia.
Peter Cetera, man.
Peter Cetera,
Classic Chicago. Oh man, I got talk about.
Is that the one that's got the lyrics says like a knight in shining armor?
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, they did a good job with season 3. But we were watching it when it came out on YouTube Red, when Cobra Kai, when it first came out on the YouTube subscription. Believe it or not, I actually never signed up for the trial, so I did it when it came out because my cousin's like, dude, you got to watch Cobra Kai. It's phenomenal. It's like so nostalgic. So I got into it, and I was able to go through, like, binge watch the whole thing, and then I waited for season 2 came out. And what's funny is when Netflix got the show, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, Cobra Kai, it's phenomenal, blah blah. I'm like, I'm like, guys, I saw that like a year and a half ago. You're
behind the times.
You're behind, man. You know, but yeah, season 3 was great. I love that show. As far as listening to music, I go back and forth day to day. I go with like just old school stuff. Just recently, this past weekend, my wife and I were home without the kids, and we can't play 90s rap music, and that's what I grew up on as a teenager.
I love it.
Yeah.
And the thing is like it's hard to find words where they don't sit, like they just don't curse or whatever. So, you know, that's why I play a lot of 80s stuff, because you know it's clean, right? They don't really there's not a lot of explicit content in there.
Well,
it's just fun.
That's why you got to go to Ralph's house and listen to the hip hop over there.
Yeah,
that's what we do. I usually go there. I was like, Ralph, put some Dre on, get some Snoop.
Got enough subwoofers for it.
Give me some Notorious B.I.G.
I love it.
Yeah,
Call Me Big Papa.
Oh,
yeah,
awesome song. But yeah, as soon as I'm like, what do you want to listen to, babe? And she's like, you know what I want. She wants what's that song from Notorious B.I.G.? The one where he's they're riding on the boat in the video. Hypnotize.
Oh, Hypnotize, yeah.
She's like,
I got mad feels when it comes to my boy.
Yeah.
On the side of my head.
So that's what we're listening to. That's, if I had to say what was I listening to recently, 90s rap. Where we're just binge listening. Everything from West Coast to East Coast rap. You know, the Wu-Tang Clan. I love that stuff. I could talk about 90s rap for forever. What about you, Ralph?
That's when rap was really good, dude.
Hell yeah, rap was the best.
Yeah, I mean, we grew up. I mean, that's middle school age when you know, the Chronic, which was Dre's, you know, first album, came out. That was the first album I ever bought on CD. Mm-hmm. And my dad was going to kill me when he heard me start playing
the Chronic? Yeah. That was a great
He's
album,
like, man. Shut that off. What are you guys listening to?
It's like, I can't believe you guys listen to this stuff.
Yeah. So that started it, man. We just started, you know, Tupac and just all those guys. It was great.
Of course,
loved it.
God, man.
Tupac and for Biggie.
Yes, sir, man.
Yes,
absolutely,
exactly.
Man. Praise, man.
I know. I was a senior in high school when both of those guys died.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We're a long while ago. Yep.
I think it was 96, 97.
Yeah, like around that time, like 96, 97. You know, when that
you guys are so young.
I know.
So young.
How's it feel, Giles? How's it feel?
That's funny because I feel old.
yeah, no.
People are like 97. Gee, you're my dad.
What?
I remember back in the day when we listened to Brass Monkey, that funky monkey.
That was a good song.
Beastie Boys, baby.
Monkey, the funky monkey.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Ralph, what are you watching? What are you watching then?
So, right now, like, I'm more modern. Like when it comes to like more watching, modern. Like binge watching and stuff like that.
Cobra Kai was.
I mean, I did watch some Cobra Kai. But like that's like my. I mean, it's not really my flavor because like if I'm gonna watch something old school, I'm gonna watch something old school. Like believe it or not, like Days of Thunder and like Top Gun and stuff like that. I watched something like that.
Yeah.
So like I watched this show on Netflix called The Order, and it's more like.
I've seen it.
Like spells and like, you know, like more like, you know, it's pretty cool. It's like
supernatural, yeah.
Yeah, it's like supernatural stuff and stuff like that. So I've been binge watching like that. What's really cool about it is that it plays in HDR and Atmos, which is really cool. So
cool.
I get to listen to it, you know, with my Atmos surround sound that I have. And it's not like overwhelmingly like, you know, soundtrack to Atmos and all that stuff, but like you get a good presence of it. And it's a good show. I kind of like it a lot. I've been watching, you know.
Have you made it to the second season?
Oh, I watched throughout the whole thing. Yeah,
dude.
It's actually.
Who do you root for? Do you root for the werewolves or do you root for the witches?
You know, to be honest with you, I gotta root for the werewolves. You know why? Because I think they're trying to get to the neediness of like why the order's the way they are. Mm-hmm. And I think like what they're trying to do is that they're trying to get the order to like just like, okay, you know what, maybe we should team up. Maybe there is some type of other evil out there that we need to team up, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because it can't just be the werewolves to, you know, take them all out and stuff like that, you know?
Sure.
So I think that's what's going to happen. I think in the third season they're going to come together as a as a one
As a
cult.
collective, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and then
yeah, to be honest, I thought the first season was way better.
yeah, I liked the first season too. I thought it
Yeah.
was really good.
Second
And-
season was okay. It just, I felt there was a lot missing from it, and then
Yeah.
how they kind of brought him in with the blonde
Right.
hair and the having to have that girlfriend and not remembering anything.
Yeah,
It almost felt like lazy writing, but
yeah,
I don't know, man. Like Seamus
Yeah.
is always my favorite because he's a big drinker and he's
Yeah.
always drinking. But yeah, and then I don't think they. Okay, without spoilers, I don't think for anybody else. I don't think they finished. They didn't bring her back. Oh yeah, they did bring her back from the other side, right?
right. Yeah, you did. They brought what's her name?
You guys are
Lilith.
spoiling all this
Lilith.
stuff. Dang.
They brought Lilith. Yeah,
I
they
was
brought
like, I'll have
Lilith.
to watch it now.
They brought Lilith back from the from
Lilith,
hell.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, welcome back. She's like, I don't want to be back. I'm like, I was home. And I'm just like, what? I'm like, what the hell? So
I know.
so they finally they kind of like dispelled her from from being in hell.
See, I was kind of hoping they would bring her back at a very important time, and she would
Right.
save the day. You know,
That's what I was hoping to for. I was like, man,
Yeah.
she's stuck in hell. She's probably doing something down there. Who knows? And it's just like,
maybe
oh
it's
man,
fun. I don't know. Maybe it's fun down there.
yeah, maybe exactly,
Right.
maybe it is. But
we gotta move on from.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So AA calls out The Expanse, and I think The Expanse is probably tied for the best television currently airing right now. I mean,
Yeah.
there are a bunch of good shows, but this one is right up there, especially season 5 that they're on now. Man, it is good. That's all I
yeah,
can say.
yeah. I haven't watched.
I
Yeah,
couldn't get into that. I couldn't get into The Expanse. Like I
You
tried to
gotta
watch
get past the first season.
Bro. I don't
so
know.
just start from the second season, then you're okay.
Yeah.
Don't
Well,
watch
if
the
you-
first season. Just watch the second season.
If you're
That's
Hey Ralph, if you're into
You-
stuff like The Order, I recommend Carnival Row. I thought
Carnival.
that
I heard about that Carnival Row.
was
Yeah,
amazing.
Are
Oh,
the crazy
okay.
fairy things with the wings?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has like a Game of Thrones feel to it,
Uh-huh,
but also The Witcher. Really,
yes.
good.
I love The Witcher. Oh,
The
God.
Witcher.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it was
can't.
fun.
If you like The Witcher, you're gonna like Carnival Row. It's
Okay,
epic.
I'll
a
watch
good
that.
vibe.
Then. I'm gonna put that on my
Yennefer
list.
is pretty cool.
And right now, I'm actually watching. I'm in the middle of watching Titans, which is like the Robin from Batman and Robin. The Robin.
Yes.
I seen a couple previews of it, and I wasn't
Teen
sold on it.
Titans? Teen Titans?
Yes, it is a Teen Titans, but it's just called Titans. It's on HBO Max.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're a little older, and they're portraying Robin like this, like savage. You know, like
What?
he just
Oh,
kills
wow.
people, he shoots people, like he's just
Wow.
out of control. And then they team him up with this group of like misfits, and it's actually been interesting to see their story arc,
I gotta
and it's
check that
really
out.
well written. So
I gotta check that out.
yeah, I think it's only like 2 seasons out, so it's not very long.
Right
So
on.
yeah, I'm into that. Oh, and his Dark Material is very good as well.
His
Cool.
Dark Material. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's on HBO
Material.
Max. That's based off of some books that really pissed off the Catholic Church. So I thought it was kind of funny.
Nice.
But yeah, the main character is the guy. What's his name? James McAvoy, and the girl that played X-23 in Logan. She's in
Oh, that's right. Oh my God, that's right. Holy crap!
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
that's some stuff for you guys to chew on.
Okay.
Well,
I'm gonna have to.
let's move away from Content Corner to
Mhm.
Project Place, the
Let's do
place where we pugilize project prerogatives. I can't do the P's, man. So this is where we talk about the cool stuff we got going on. So what do you guys got going on? What's any projects going on at home? Any new video stuff you're working on to come out? Anything interesting happening for you?
Yeah, so it's we try to put out some content on our YouTube channel. We're most active on our Instagram, so we're posting one picture a day, sometimes one every other day, and then as far as like YouTube videos, it really just comes down to if he upgrades the system or I get something new, then we'll definitely do a review.
Yeah.
But right now, I just got the Sonos Arc, which is the newest soundbar that
that's
Sonos
cool.
makes, and it's got Atmos in it. And I was skeptical because going from his system, he's got a full Atmos home theater system, and I'm like, a soundbar with Atmos, and now everybody's doing it, right? Like you see, like Vizio's got one that's out, which has got that it's cool, it rotates. Samsung and even if you want to get crazy, the Sennheiser, the Ambio, which is like the $3,000 sound bar. But yeah, I bought it, and it's been out since July. But we want to give like an honest review. So he actually just came over 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And somebody I think just said, I think Double A again commenting how crazy streaming shows sound now, because a lot of like Netflix and Vudu and Disney Plus all deliver Dolby Atmos content streaming, which is crazy, right? So
Yeah.
before you had to have like a high quality Blu-ray player and an AVR system, right, to get that. But now it's like they're pumping this out through like sound bars, which is nuts. So yeah, we're just before we just shoot out a video, we want to give like an honest review. So I'm just tinkering with it, trying different streaming services. Like Prime Video has Atmos content, but it's funny because it depends on the TV you have. Not all TVs native apps, and I just learned about this too. Roku, not all their apps based on the TV brand play the same as others. So you can have a Hisense Roku or Sharp Roku and a TCL, and the apps might deliver Atmos, they might not. So it's really interesting to see like how different your TV, and now that's a problem for me because I'm like, man, should I upgrade my TV and get that OLED or what? I don't know what I'm doing here. So now it's like, you spend all this money on soundbar. Now you're thinking about upgrading your TV to like a $2,000 plus TV.
Yeah, I mean, not all TVs are made equal. I mean,
well, they're not. They're all different quality. But you never think of the sound output, right?
Sure, right on. Yeah.
Right now that's huge. Like when you bought a TV, what's the video quality like, right? And how many HDMI ports does they have, right? That was probably like the most important thing. But now it's like, okay, what's the operating system, and does it produce Dolby Atmos? Does it have output and does it have EARC, right? Which is huge right now with people looking to stream, through their home theater system. So that's kind of our project, and I would say by next weekend we'll probably have that video out.
Yeah.
So we're getting pretty close.
That's cool.
We're getting pretty close, Jen.
That to me is a good segue to shameless plugs. So, guys, I know there's like 13, 14 of you on here. Most of you are here on Giles' Home Theater Fanatics. Some of you are here on HiFi Fanatics. If you haven't already, definitely subscribe to Home Theater Fanatics for all your home theater, audio, video, random cool stuff needs. Over at Giles' Corner, over at my corner, Audio Architects, if you want to see some really weird, awkward videos. And, of course, the HiFi Brothers. They're putting out some good content, man. I'm really enjoying their stuff. They have some definite like just sincerity into their reviews. They're not like biased. They're just like, they'll tell you exactly how they feel it sounds and how they feel it affects their life and their environment. So definitely go, like, subscribe. They're on Instagram. They're on YouTube. They're probably on Facebook. I don't know if anybody still uses Facebook, but all that.
We old people do.
Yeah.
Remember MySpace?
Oh, dude. I wish, honestly, I would ditch my Facebook and go back to MySpace. Because it was literally like having a little website of yourself.
Yeah, and then you can customize it the way you want it, which was pretty cool.
If you're mad at your girlfriend, you just played some shit.
Put some stickers all over the place,
Yeah. Get some viruses from all that shit. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Man.
But yeah, man, I miss the MySpace days. But yeah, Facebook, I don't know, man. The group thing is cool. I like going to like Giles' group and checking out all that cool content there. If you guys also, another shameless plug, if you're on Facebook, Giles and I both have, some cool groups you can join as well. We'll put all that stuff in the description below. But now I'd like to show everyone this REW I finally found.
All right, man.
So, 'cause a lot of people have been asking me about it. And this is actually tuned with mini DSP.
Nice.
And that's where it's at. So, I can't even see right now.
So it looks like So it looks like your roll. Yeah.
between 18 hertz and 10 hertz, I'm only losing about 10, not even 10 dB. You know,
about looks like about 7 decibel right there.
So and that's not bad.
Is it a 10 decibel or a 5 decibel gap? I can't tell.
I think it's a 10 decibel gap. So from 90 to 100. So, I mean, it starts to come up around. Starts at 90 hertz or 90 dB, and then it starts to come up all the way about 100 and I'm going to say 105, 104 decibel. And then it stays consistent, which is really good. And then it dips down around 65, I say 65 hertz.
I have it.
That's artificial.
I have it crossed over at 80, so it's gonna fall off at 80 either way. But
that's beautiful.
This is nice.
Yeah. Anybody that's listening or watching right now, that is a perfect, like a subwoofer, frequency response right there. Yeah. Sometimes you'll get this big, large null around the 40 hertz range, and you're just like wondering, why am I getting a 40 hertz null right there? Well, because maybe you have. Yeah. It's the room, because maybe you have like an open space right there in your room. That's why a second subwoofer would benefit that, because like it'll you can cross over at that certain frequency, and then you can raise the noise floor on that frequency to get rid of that null. But that's a perfect.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, that's a beautiful.
Actually, I fixed one of the nulls because there was a really weird null. Mm-hmm. I went ahead and I describe how I do it in the video that's going to be coming out soon.
Nice.
But mini DSP is like the business. Yeah. If you saw this,
that's awesome.
I don't have the before, but if I had the before was really weird. It was just like really raw,
Oh yeah.
It was like all over the place. But once you get that tuning in with mini DSP, it makes all the difference. And that's one of the advantages of honestly buying a subwoofer that is already ready to go with the DSP already done, because a lot of people don't have to worry about this, but some people like me, I kind of enjoy it because it's like you build something from scratch with your hands, and then you tune it to where it's just flawless,
Exactly.
But I know a lot of people were bugging me about the DSP. So now they have all the information, and before anybody else gets to see it, Yeah,
that's beautiful, man. I think that educating people on the mini DSP, because like they buy subwoofers and thinking that like, oh my God, I'm gonna get like the best of the best. And then when they put it on, it's like, oh my God, it's so overwhelming, or it just it's not producing what I want it to be. I'm like, well, when you get into a higher end subwoofers like SVS and Stark Sound and like the other ones, that I can name, but those are subwoofers that have tuning inside of them, and you really got to go in there and fine tune those frequencies to get an even level of like what you just showed, which is perfect.
A lot of the higher end subs do offer their own their own room correction.
Yes,
which I think is really cool. I know Velodyne has their own room correction. I'm gonna be playing around with one of those Velodyne subs here soon, and I know Giles has a 18-inch Velodyne in his arsenal of bass that actually sounds phenomenal.
Nice.
It's a good sub.
They've that company has definitely lasted the test of time, but I think everybody needs a little bass in their life,
They do. There's a company out there, and there are I don't know if you guys ever heard of them, but they're called Arendelle Sound. They're from
I've always said Arendelle.
Some people say Arendelle.
It's like Lord of the Rings or something.
But they're actually Arendelle. Yeah, so they're actually Arendelle Sound. They're from Norway, and shout out to them. I've seen reviews on their stuff, and a lot of people have been praising them a lot. And they have this one subwoofer, the V1, and this thing just like it's like a subwoofer in a Cracker Jack box. I mean, it's awesome. It's like it hits pretty hard, and they have a mini DSP built in, and so you can tune in the frequencies as you go on the fly, which is incredible. Of course, it's up there in some spare change, but hey, you know what? If you want something that you can tune, on the fly, which I'm pretty sure like a lot of the subwoofers have. Like my subwoofer does have fine tuning and all that stuff, but this one's like, it goes over the edge and like, what frequency do you want to choose and fine tune it from there, which is crazy. So it's pretty cool. They make good product. I like I said, I haven't heard of them. I know I saw their content on YouTube and all that stuff, and people have been praising them a lot, which is cool. So, I like to showcase, or maybe you guys can get a hand of them and test it out yourself. That'd be pretty cool. So,
yeah, I mean, people don't really realize how much. Actually, tuning a subwoofer really does.
Yeah.
you know, for the sound. I mean, before I got the mini DSP, I was just using it, you know, right after I built it, and I thought it sounded great then.
Yeah.
You know, I was like,
Absolutely.
damn, this thing can hit.
Uh-huh.
And then once I tuned it, I'm like, holy crap, this thing can go low.
It's like magic. Like once you tune it and you get it right, it's like everything is just so equal to your ears. And it's like, oh man, now I can enjoy a movie, and it's like, wow, it's heart pounding. I feel all of the detail in my ears and everything. It's that's just the way to do it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people shy away from, you know, the importance of, like, even a home theater. Like, the important thing out of a home theater is your center channel. That's the number one thing, always. You got a good center channel, and that's probably about 80% of the whole home theater is your center channel. That right there, and your subwoofer, is, if you can get those two tuned in together perfectly, the rest of it would be no obvious to you. I mean, it's, you know, those are the two most important things you have to tune in your home theater, is your center channel and your subwoofer.
Well, a lot of times I think the source can play tricks on you too.
Yes, it can.
You know, because I've seen where, you know, we'll stream something from the internet. Like if let's say we're renting a new movie or something online, or we're playing a physical media, the actual physical 4K disc.
Yes.
Man, sometimes when you're streaming, you lose a lot. You know, you lose a lot of volume and a lot of detail.
Yes.
A lot of fidelity.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's not the way you tuned it. It has nothing to do with it. It's just the way it's been streamed.
Because then it just throws everything off. Then
it does. It really
then
does.
You turn it up, and then the bass is too loud, and because you're trying to hear the actual sound, you know.
Exactly. It's and I'm sitting there playing around with my receiver. I'm like, is there something wrong with my system? I know there's something. Nothing's wrong. And goes to show that, like, after, you know, doing some tests, I'm like, okay, maybe it is the content that's what's playing is producing the low sound and messing up your everything. Go ahead.
It's just it's like it's, you know, 2021 problems where they had it, you know, back in the 70s, right? Like the sound, like each record could be different, different crackles and pops in certain songs, and when you record it on cassette or record it to reel, really, I mean, it's usually, you know, and we're going to probably release some videos about that too. It's really comes down to the source. A lot of people do tend to forget about that. Mm-hmm. You know, they always think it's an issue with my sound system. I have to get something bigger, like better treble.
Yeah,
because
I have to.
This song that I used to remember on headphones, you know, like listening to headphones, is just not the same with, you know, streaming it on Spotify, for example. Absolutely. Right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, it definitely is. The source is a huge part of that.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
Armando, I think you and I were talking about this on our thing. When I actually got my you know, vinyl, my record player going, I hit up my friend Emika, who was on here a little bit ago, and I'm like, hey, this thing is making a bunch of popping, crackling shit sounds. Like, sounds like shit? Is this the way it's supposed to sound? And she's like, yeah, it's vinyl. That's the way it's supposed to sound. I'm like, I don't know.
I'll be told
on vinyl, dude.
I'll be totally honest with you. I am a person that the crackles and pops do annoy me sometimes.
Yeah.
Because, well, here's the problem. It's like, if you listen to a song that's without the crackles and pops, you get used to it. Mm-hmm. Right? And then you go and play it on vinyl and you got those crackles and pops. Now it becomes an annoyance. You know, it's where if you listen to it as like, I think it goes back to like what we said, right? Like it was that sound when you were very young. You can go back to it like, oh, I remember the crackles and pops, and that's when I played that song. So it may not annoy somebody who remembers it that way,
right?
But I don't know. For me, it's not really like that. I'm so used to listening to, you know, like Tidal, for example. Like they have some really good, you know, streaming content out there. They got the masters now, and like the HiFi, like 24-bit. It's crazy. They even have Atmos. You can do that now. It's crazy.
Do they really?
Yeah, they do. They have. I think if you have a TV, I know it's not on my TV because I tried it. Again, I have to upgrade my TV. But if you have like a Sony or even Samsung, I think you could get like the Tidal app, and you can actually have the hi-fi with the Atmos playback. So
That's
as long
cool.
as you have that hooked up,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool, man. Where
Yeah.
how far it's come, but yeah, it's just I'm with you on that one. I'm not when I hear crackles and pops. I go back and I'm like, I gotta clean the crap out of this record and get rid of that thing, dude. And
Yeah.
it's sometimes just never gonna happen.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing with watching, hi-fi movies and stuff like that with Atmos and stuff like that. You're looking, it's like when you're looking for that sound, it doesn't play, and you're just like, why isn't it there? You know what I mean? Like when we're doing the Sonos, and we're playing this one part in this movie called 1917, and there's this scene where they shoot up a flare in the air, and I'm like, okay, let me see if I can hear the flare going off, above you, with your Sonos arc. And because the sound is not true Atmos, even though it's there, I'm like, okay, let me see if I can hear the sound coming overhead of me. I think it's more like when you're trying to listen to something, you do hear it, but it's not really physically present, like as a true Atmos, like the speaker's supposed to be above you, that type of feeling. So I mean, and we will get to that. Like I think when we do the review on the Sonos Arc, we will explain, why true Atmos versus a bouncy house effect, on a sound bars.
Yeah,
there's no differences, but
you're never going to get the same quality
Yeah.
with physical format than you will with streaming, right? Like I don't think anybody's going to say, "Oh, streaming's way better than 4K HDR Blu-ray."
Yeah.
Well, we have someone right here that flat out says streaming audio is awful. So
Neil's right.
I'm going to disagree because I think with Tidal and Quillbuzz, I mean, Giles and I have gotten a chance to obviously, audition a lot of different speakers. Giles, I mean, I'd say from
Quillbuzz, they're
well,
as good as you
I'm
can
gonna
get.
I'm gonna take it even further from
Yeah.
CD
Better than
to
CD.
streaming. Do you notice any like audible difference?
Okay, so here's the thing. So there is what you can notice and what there really exists. So
Exactly.
CD quality is lower quality than what you can stream on Qobuz or Tidal. They can stream in higher fidelity than that. Can you tell a difference? Probably not. There are people out there that are like, oh yeah, I can tell about the jitter from my DAC, and I need to resample the time with the new clock and whatever. I can't tell.
Yeah.
I can't tell the difference.
Nobody can tell the difference. Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting into that territory where you have like half the hi-fi community who's gonna duke it out, right? But I don't know. I tend to agree. Streaming content has definitely come a long way when it first started, and with the advent of like hi-fi audio or Wi-Fi audio, and like even Bluetooth is slowly catching up with aptX, HD, codecs, and stuff like that.
The newest of the new is starting to get there, but man, older Bluetooth is horrible.
Oh my gosh, you couldn't even
God,
have a phone
dude.
conversation.
It was bad. It was
I
really
think newer
bad.
Bluetooth. I think all Bluetooth is trash, to be honest.
I don't like Bluetooth, and I don't use it unless I just
Yeah.
don't use it.
I think Wi-Fi streaming is fine. That's
Yeah.
what I do with my Blue Sound Note 2i. I just stream Wi-Fi through
Yeah.
the phone,
Yeah.
and that's fine, totally cool. Yeah, but Jesus, and I see that in the comments there. There's some comments that people can tell the difference, but it is what it is, man. I think it's everybody has their different flavor. Some people like the snap, crackle, pop, and the experience of setting up the record and putting a little needle on there and doing all that.
Put the needle on the record.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
Put the needle on the record.
What do you think, Giles? Do you think that's more of a ceremony than anything?
It's totally more of a. It has that that aspect to it. It's like it's like any physical kind of thing that you do, like eating or smoking or drinking. People like they like to use their hands, and when you listen to music, there are folks that they want to go to the record player, and they want to do this, they want to do that stuff, and they want to clean the record, and it's all part of the process. Vinyl has its sound, and there people like that sound that vinyl has if you're into it. Me, I've never owned a record player, and I keep telling myself I'm going to buy one, but I haven't done it yet. I will do it just to do it, and I absolutely want to get a reel-to-reel, just because then I can, kind of lord that over people and be like, I was listening to my reel-to-reel. That's the only reason I want to go.
What did your family listen to when you were young?
8-track cassette tape.
Okay. So you were more
we were all 8-tracks and cassettes when I was a kid.
Gotcha.
There were record players around. I can actually remember listening to one record, and it was some rock band, and it's got this song that goes, what goes up must come down. I can't remember who the group is, but I remember.
Oh man, now you got that in my head.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking. I know what band it is. I just forgot what the name of it is.
I don't. And they have a trumpet, and the guy plays that. And I remember that. But yeah, when I was a kid, I can remember being in my uncle's truck, and he had an 8-track player and jamming it in there. I can remember going to my grandmother's house, and she had it's like a boom box with an 8-track on top, and you put it in, and then you push the big button, and it would change the songs.
That's
oh man.
I think. Well, Giles, I think you were more of a child in like the early '80s. So in the '80s, that's when the whole thing started transitioning from vinyl to cassettes, and just like everybody nowadays, like once you see something new, you're like, oh shit, I gotta have that. Just like when cassettes went over to CDs, we're like, CDs is where it's at in the mid early '90s, and then now it's all at your fingertips. Anything you could possibly want to listen to is at your fingertips. What's that?
I was going to say Cobras and Tidal. When you get the high res versions of those, I am fully committed that those sound as good as anything that you can listen to.
Absolutely.
That's it. And for me, I don't like to collect media other than the stuff that you see behind me. That's what I collect. But I don't collect like Blu-rays or CDs or DVDs, that kind of stuff. So I really like being able to stream music.
Oh, there's something I got to show you, Giles. You're going to love it. Hold on.
Oh, God. When he says this, there's no telling. He's going to come back, and he's going to be naked. He's going to be like,
oh, man.
This is coming.
Boy.
It's horrible.
There he is.
Okay, talking about owning things on CD, right?
Yeah.
Remember that song you showed me at your house to test out the front sound stage of the Tool song?
Chocolate Chip Trip off of Fear Inoculum.
It's still in the packaging. It's like the collector's edition book of the Tool album that has that song on it.
Nice.
And I got myself the ultimate version of Interstellar.
Yes.
This is my favorite soundtrack probably of all time.
Yeah.
So, and this is like the special edition version too. So I got two new CDs, because I like.
Dude, listen, on the 27th of this month, you have to come to my house. You have to help me install. I think Mike just froze up. No, there he is. You have to help me install the new theater sofa, the new chairs, and we have to listen to Hans Zimmer live in Prague, the whole thing.
We have to.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
We have to, dude, because we've been planning this. We've been planning this because he showed me like the first couple chapters, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna hold off because I'm not gonna watch it. I actually own it, but I haven't watched it myself. But I'm waiting to go to Giles' house because I want to hear it in that environment, So I'm excited for that. Aside from that, dude, I think things are going pretty good.
Yeah,
I can't wait to try out those Valencia seats.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And dude, hopefully by then I'll have the 4 new Atmos speakers in. I've got 3 of the old ones pulled out, and I've got the template made, so I got to start cutting holes in the drywall.
I'll come over and
nice.
help you. I'll come over and help you.
I got Start Sound IWH3s to put
those
in.
Those are nice, man. Those are really good in-wall speakers.
Yeah. So that I just put an in-wall center in. So I had a traditional center channel under my screen, which I hated. The center channel itself was awesome, but it's like I was listening to my feet whenever I'd kick back, So I finally got the center installed, and I changed out all the power plugs to black. And I did all the plates around them. So I'm talking about the actual plug itself. I turned the power off and changed everything, so it's all black. I put the backer material on the AT screen now, so you'll get more color contrast pop. So, dude, it's gonna be a whole new experience when you come. Yeah, when you come.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so moving that center channel up, how much of a difference did it make?
Night and day.
Okay, well, because it's a brand new center channel, but it's a similar, similar,
So it's
similar engineering,
same,
obviously.
it's voiced the same as everything else, meaning it's got the same tweeter and the same mid-range.
Right.
The mid-bass drivers are a little bit smaller than the left and right because those are the flagship towers.
Yeah,
right?
those are ridiculous. Those are like overkill.
But it's the same voicing. But dude, now all of the tweeters in the bed level or the bed speakers are all in the same horizontal plane. So all the way around the room, it's all the same now. Instead of the center channel, everything would come around, but then it would dip way down under your feet. So huge change. I mean, huge for me. I mean, and with the new Atmos speakers, because I'd been rocking these really super cheap. What was the brand? I can't remember. The one with not the Micas or whatever. Like they're like $29 each, and they've been up there forever. So they're going out for the IWH3s now, which is
I still thought those sounded good, dude. Those sounded pretty good. I don't know.
Well,
I know I'm about to experience something out of control now. But
I mean, they're all right. I mean, if you don't want to spend a lot of money, but you want to put some Atmos speakers in, absolutely get them, dude. I ran them for a long time, and they're all right. Now they can't keep up with everything else.
Dude, you're going to get some strangers knocking on your door, going, "Hey, I heard you have a really nice, Stark Sound demo. Can we listen to it?"
Yeah.
$12 a head entry fee,
dude. And just listening to Stark's stuff at Acedia 2 years ago in 2019, I was blown away then, and that wasn't even their flagship stuff.
That was the Halo 2 series,
right?
Nice.
And then you've finally been able to piece it together to where you almost have it all dialed in. I think the Atmos speakers will finish the entire process.
It'll be all Halo 5 and all Halo 3, except for two of the bed channels, which I could put the ICH3s, but they're too big, so I'm running ICH2s. But yeah, it'll all be Halo 3 and Halo 5, all the way around, and all Stark amplification.
Now we're gonna have to do a sub 45 for the low end in the back, and you're good to go.
I would take two sub 45s and put up front.
Nice.
Would you really? I thought they were super tall.
But no, I think I have to check now.
But it is a $6,000 subwoofer, just to let everybody know. But
they're expensive.
They're not. It's a nice sub though. It's a pretty good sub.
All right, let me see. So it's a 15.5-inch driver, which is weird in and of itself. Yeah, so it's 21 inches tall without the foot and 22.8 with the foot. Now, and I think I've got like 20 inches between the screen and the floor in the front. But if I came up on those subs, I would probably raise the screen 2 inches to accommodate it in front. I don't want to, but I think I've got 2 inches of play where I could raise it if I wanted to. But I wouldn't run it. I'd have to take the feet off.
Nice. You have a home theater screen, or you have a TV, Giles?
I've got a 127-inch acoustically transparent 2.35 to 1 aspect ratio screen.
Nice.
And I'm projecting onto that with via anamorphic lens, so
perfect.
There's no waste
there you go.
or anything.
Yeah.
What do you guys have it? Because Ralph used to have that short throw projector. What do you guys?
I use a UST
those?
in my living room right now. Ultra short.
Oh yeah.
I've got the Vava, and dude, I'm doing that on a 100-inch screen in the living room, and it is baller. I mean, the picture quality doesn't compare to like a good OLED. I mean, it just doesn't. But for me, the big screen experience is more important than having like the super blackest of blacks.
Yeah, sure.
So I prefer that.
I prefer
because you were rocking that a while ago. Like
I had a
few years ago. You had the short throw with a all clips set up. That's kind of some of the stages that he was going through with his home theater. But I remember the short throw projector.
Yeah, it was an LG short throw projector that they had with only 1,000 lumen, and the problem with that one was that like, if you wanted it bright, it was nice, but like the fan would just be so like super loud. I'm like, I can't stand it. So I had to play it at low, just to get and I had to fine tune the picture, and I used my receiver at the time to enhance the picture. And it was just like, it looks so washed out and everything. I'm just like, oh my god, I got to get rid of this. So I went back to a traditional LED TV. So now I got an 82-inch Samsung Q70R Which
There you go.
Now that TV, man, I tell you what, that TV is pretty awesome. You know, I did my own fine tuning on that TV. The blacks are just ink black. The colors are outstanding. The picture quality is like phenomenal on that TV.
TVs are just getting they're just getting huger and every year.
Yeah.
They're getting bigger and more affordable too.
Yeah.
I think what Black Friday or Christmas, Sony had the 85-inch X900. I think was like $2,000 at Costco, and that's incredible. That's crazy.
As soon as they come out with a 100-inch screen that I can afford,
Yes, me too.
I'll put that in the living room. That'll be
Yep.
my new TV, and I'll get rid of the UST. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I've already
back
made plans to upgrade my TV situation for next Black Friday. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna get as many miles as I can out of my Samsung I have now. I have a little 55-inch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that going 70 plus is the way to go.
Yeah,
'Cause,
absolutely.
dude, then you're just. I mean, like Armando just said, they're getting way bigger and way more affordable. So
Yep.
unless you have a home theater, then I totally recommend anybody getting a projector, which I believe those will eventually get more affordable with time.
Yes.
But it's still kind of new to people, and it's still very kind of niche. Not everybody has a basement or a dedicated, theater space. So I don't know. I think everybody should. I wish everybody could, but
Yeah, I mean, it's getting there. It's getting there. It's just that technology is just getting a lot better, and a lot of people right now, they just want simplicity. So that's why, like I said, they go with the sound bars and stuff like that, because it's very simple and it works. But there's people like us that are that really are into high fidelity. We want the best sound. And the cheapest if we can get it cheap.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Michael's TV was the size of 2 fridges. Oh
so
my god!
I
Tubes.
remember the TV.
my subwoofers now.
That guy's talking about remember the old Mitsubishi.
The rear projection.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes,
Yeah.
I actually had.
We had one,
So
yeah.
this is not that long ago, but do you guys remember DLP?
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
rear projected TVs.
Yeah.
So this is before flat panel TVs, like plasma was the only technology
Yeah,
you can get in the early 2000s. Really was the only technology that was flat screen, and those were very expensive. So like, I think Samsung, that's kind of where they got their name started, was with DLP TVs.
Mm-hmm.
But those things were gigantic. But I remember the old school like rear projecting TVs from like the early 90s. Those things were, refrigerator is definitely spot on.
I'll tell you how nice of a guy I am. Guy from work hits me up and he's like, "Hey, I got this TV. Can you help me carry it to my house, to my apartment?" And I'm like, "All right." He's like, "Hey, it's a big screen, but it's not too bad." I'm like, "Cool."
Yeah.
So I call one of my buddies, and this was 2003, 2004. So I call my buddy. I'm like, "Hey, this dude needs our help. Let's go over there and help him out." He didn't tell us he lives on the 3rd story.
Oh no.
So we're carrying this probably easy 400-pound Mitsubishi, just monster. It was like 6 of us on that thing, and all the other guys were about my size, and
Puffing and puffing.
dude, one at a time. Finally, we made it up there. We all wanted to die.
Yeah.
This was in my prime. I was barely 21, so I was like,
Oh my God.
man, never again. I'm glad they make flat panel TVs now.
Yeah.
That's
I
it.
bet that
Yeah.
that TV at the time was only a 50-inch, and it was about the
Yeah,
size of a
yeah.
truck.
It really was. It was at least like 3 or 4 feet deep. It was just ginormous. You know how they had the speakers were like a good foot and a half tall.
Yep.
Jeez,
I remember those things. Yeah.
couldn't do it. Dude.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, hey guys, thank you so much for being on the show.
Absolutely.
Guys. We
Absolutely.
appreciate it. You guys have definitely been a great addition into our squad.
To the hobby. Yeah.
Our squad,
Yeah.
dude. Like, you guys are definitely cool guys, and we like geeking out with you. So
Hell yeah.
anytime you guys want, you're always welcome. So
Absolutely. Thank you
Yeah,
guys so
pleasure.
much.
Thanks for having us, guys. Appreciate it. It was nice to
Absolutely.
chat hi-fi for an hour.
hell yeah. And Giles,
Absolutely.
everybody knows where they can find us next week, right here.
Same
Yep.
place, same time, same bat time, same bat channel.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Ralph, I'm gonna get with you, man, because we're gonna exchange information because we're gonna talk the order all day. tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
All right,
Let's
guys.
talk
thanks
about
for joining
yeah.
us.
All right,
We'll see
man.
you guys next week. Don't
Absolutely.
leave me, though. Don't leave.
Okay.
Take care.